discuss is the present tense, discusses is the third person singular, simple past is discussed, and discussing is the present participle. And then there's a fifth form mandated by the tool, which is the past participle. And in the case of discuss, that's the same as the simple past. So I'm going to enter again discussed and then make the edit. And then what it's going to do is send me back to the page, and it has updated these existing 4 forms. So now we know that this is the simple present. This is the singular simple present third person. And it also created this new 5th form for discussed, which is the past participle in English, apparently. And that's it. I hear some noise. Does it mean my 3 minutes are already over? I think I'm pretty much done. So this tool has templates for all kinds of languages already.
That was a technical glitch. I made someone presenter and they enabled their video, even though I asked them not to.
Then I'll just keep talking a bit more. So basically, the tool already knows how words in a bunch of languages work. You can edit German nouns with it, or Breton nouns and verbs, I think these are, which are brand new, added today. And if you want to make creating lexicographical data in your language easier, then you can head over to the tool's documentation and find out how to add your own language in here, and then use that to create new lexemes or edit existing ones and fix lexicographical data. And that's basically what I worked on mostly. So just to be clear, I didn't build this entire thing. That was just this editing feature. But I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Next is to present is Gopa. And I will make you a presenter now. So please feel free to come and drop in, Gopa.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, hello, dear Wikimedia. So, yeah, I work on the Video Cut tool, and we recently released Video Cut tool version 0.3. And this newer version supports the users can provide the URL of the video, or they can even upload the video from their devices. If the video is not supported by the Commons, if it is in the MP4 extension, this Video Cut will automatically converts the extension into .webm, and yeah, the users can easily edit the videos. This is also available as a gadget right now in the Wikimedia Commons. So yeah, you can go to the video URL and click on the Video Cut tool. That's it. Yeah, you can see the video playing in the toolbar. You can rotate the video, you can trim the video, and also you can crop the video. And yeah, by clicking into the preview button over here, the magic starts. You can see the you can see the cropped new video in a very few minutes. As the video competitions take quite a long time, yeah, maybe we should wait for a couple of minutes and see. And yeah, after getting a new video, we can download the video or upload the comments. This is quite pretty. And in the newer version, we also implemented scaling the tool using Redis. So this tool can accept multiple requests at once. This is pretty much I recently worked on, and in this hackathon we improved a lot of UI bugs, and we solved few bugs around. Yeah, maybe I think I'm done. It takes a couple of minutes to encode the video. Here you can see the user-friendly time sliders to add the multiple trims. So if you select the time from 2 minutes to 3 minutes over here, another time over here, so we can concatenate these two time frames and making into a single video, or we can also split the single video into different multiple videos. And each individual video can be either downloaded or uploaded to Commons. I think this is taking a quite bit of time. Maybe we can proceed with the next one. You should try actually using this Video Cut tool www.wmflabs.org. Thank you.
Gopa.
Yes.
Problem is not Gopa. If you would like to disable your speech in your video, then you'll be automatically moved off stage.
Okay.
Hello? I think I'm next, right? Do you hear me? Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
For your information, no one will answer because you are really the only one.
Okay, so I'm starting. So I think you may have encountered many times that in Wikidata, like in this item, there is a statement with values in the order that should be not like this. We should correct this order. I have developed a tool which allows user to easily rearrange the order of values for a statement in Wikidata like this. You see here is 2018, then 2019, then 2020, then 2017, and 2016. Let's make it into an right order, right chronological order. Okay, now it's fine, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and we click save, and it's saved. Yeah, here is the edit. Now, those values are changed very fast, less than a minute. Before that, you had to remove all of them manually and then add them manually back in the order you need. For now, it is just my personal user script. Here is the script itself, and here is how it's enabled. But now I'm waiting for an assistance from Wikidata interface admin to make it into a gadgets that you will be able to turn on in your preferences and use it. That's all, I think.
Thank you, Anton. So next up is Phil. Phil, can we do a microphone check?
Yes, we can, Stephen. Can you hear me?
Please go ahead.
Okay, let's share my screen. So back in November, we had our Wikitech Storm. And at the Wikitech Storm, I met Natasha. And Nat was at the Tech Storm for Witches project. He had a problem with the creation of a map. And we discovered that that there is almost no information about the witches from the lowlands, so the former lowlands, so Netherlands and Belgium, on Wikidata or Wikipedia. So we started a wiki project, Witches, and there is a lot to do. I got inspired by the Witches project from the University of Edinburgh. The Carol, I think it's intern, it's called. She did an internship for 3 months for data visualization of Scottish witches on Wikidata. So I decided I want to do that as well for the Dutch witches. And I created the fabricated task for this weekend to structure the data of witches to get a good overview model of how do we want the information on witches to be added on Wikidata, because that wasn't there yet. For instance, the search of Alexander Hamilton. This is what Carol did create from Edinburgh. So Alexander Hamilton is accused of witchcraft, and there were 2 trials of him. So I looked at what she did and did an inventarization on my user page with all the statements and everything. And I had a call with people yesterday and people today, and we created a wiki project, which is now, actually the one thing that I'm still looking for is a translation of Beenschroeven, Spaanse laarzen, Beinschrauben. I don't know the English word, and I cannot find the proper Wikidata item. So that kind of things can now be found in the Wikidata wiki project, which is. That was it.
Thank you, Seal.
No. Wait, just one moment. Leg screws. That would be my translation, but it's not. It doesn't have any hits. So, yeah. Get into the wiki project, which is with us, and help us out. Thank you.
Thank you, Seal. Next is Misk. Misk, can you at least enable your microphone?
Yep, sure. I guess that I want to share the screen. So
things are working.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'm here to speak about the hackathon project we did, mostly because I was the only one with a mic and a camera, so I was designated by my group. And it was all about P91. So P91 is a property for sexual orientation, and last week it was mass removed. Like 1/3 of the item got mass removed. I'm not going to speak about that. It's not nice to have mass remove without discussion or warning, and it was an unfortunate timing before Pride event in June, because it's used by several projects for red links, LGBT studies on English Wikipedia, les pages on French one. It's still slightly infuriating, but I'm a nice guy, so I'm not going to warn for 3 minutes. And we decided to work today to fix that. We had 10 people on the dashboard. We did add around 400 reference back, fixing around 1/3 of the items that got removed. We are down to half of the work list, which is pretty good. While on it, we also did work on adding more way to watch items to make sure that it do not appear again. The item have been removed because not enough reference or not good enough reference, so we did create maintenance list. Nikki did create a nice graph using Listeria, and they were very proud of that, so I recommend people to take a look on the new feature. While doing that, we did learn a few stuff. For example, one user who was very motivated. They did add around 100 Russian items, tagging them as heterosexual without any reference. So, and we could not look that up because not a lot of us did speak Russian. P91 is hard. We did discover we need more guidance for tagging and query. Contrary to what everybody thinks, there was not so much vandalism. We did find only 20 items that were unsourceable, beside all the Russian one. And we also found that Lenin could be tagged as being a mushroom. We let the people who found that information to explain that, please come on our table. It was a very nice weekend, a lot of jokes. I'll let you read the one that we did, from that joke to Soviet joke to everything. And I would like to thank all the people that came to help us get the work list down. It was really nice to collaborate with folks. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much it. Oh.
Thank you, Nick. Next is Vera. Please do a mic check, Vera. Yep, things are working.
Yes.
Have a good presentation.
Yes. Good evening. I've been working on a Google Spreadsheet app, which am I sharing my screen? No, not yet. Have to share my screen. Yes. If you've got tabular data on Wikimedia Commons, the way you have to edit that is by just editing the actual JSON itself, which isn't very accessible. And what I've built is that you can copy the name of this file on Wikimedia Commons. If you then go to my Google spreadsheet here and paste the name of the file in this cell, the data from that file is then loaded into this separate spreadsheet, where you can then edit existing data, or of course add new data. And if you then click the merge button, the new data will be merged with the existing data on Wikimedia Commons. We can then copy the new JSON file onto Wikimedia Commons, inspect the changes, and see that the changes I've implemented, well, I didn't format the date myself properly, so I guess if I go back and actually bother to format this date and then go back to merge, it has to switch. Then today's date is actually now listed here along with the nonsense code. So that's a big improvement, I hope you'll find. Another thing I've built recently is a thing that I use on my phone to contribute to Wikidata. Let's see if, are you still following along with? Yes. So here you have a recent search result for the search word COVID and died, as you can see. And then here you have an obituary for a local person in the Detroit Free Press. And if you want to document a victim from the coronavirus pandemic, then you need to copy the date, somebody's age, and their name, and then the URL to it. And then I've built this app that then lets me navigate down to the specific region where this person was residing. I can quickly put in the variables that I just copied to my clipboard and then describe them. As you can see, I've done that a couple of times. Oh, I've copied the wrong link to, here. Let's see. That's because I was... Oh. I've made an implementation of the Cytoid API in order to now retrieve the title of this article, as you can see. The same API also tries to retrieve the author of the article and the publication date of the article. In this case, it didn't manage to retrieve those, so I'm going to do that manually. I like to credit the journalist for writing this article. Hit go, and it has now created a series of quick statements that describe this person. I can then launch it in the quick statement app, and I have now created a new Wikidata item. It couldn't, this is already sort of what you can get, and I'm crazy enough to then edit the item itself to add things like somebody's religious affiliation and color in more details after that. But that is an interface you're familiar with. I hope other people will also use it. It's at covidobit.toolforge.org.
Yeah, details can be found on the Showcase Etherpad, which we will move to Fabricator. Thank you, Vera.
You're welcome.
Next, we have CSISC about enhancing the Wikidata property constraints with Sparkle. Please enable audio and/or video so we can do a mic check.
Okay. So hello everybody. So I am Hossein Turkey. I am from Tunisia. I'm now with the username that has been just told, and I am working on stuff related to Wikidata. So I have the honor to present you today our works about how to use SparkQL to infer property constraints for Wikidata. So the problem is known now. There is a high volume of data that is fed to Wikidata every day and a limited number of admins. So there are kind of two solutions that are now done. There are the data model using shakes and the property constraints, but no one has thought about SparkQL. In fact, SparkQL and Wikidata Query Service can be used to query information available in Wikidata and extract what we need. So we can use it to find inconsistencies and generate constraints, etc. So what we have done is that we have done this scheme for property, and we have tried the condition for each type of variable related to the relation R. For example, the inverse property, the class of the subject, etc., etc. So we have, in fact, succeeded to find all these queries, SparkQL queries, that are assessing different features from the usage of Wikidata properties. So when we use this method, we applied to 6 medical properties, we found several inconsistencies within data. So and we and when we analyzed them, we found we find quite reasons, a few of reasons why they are not working and why they are deficient. So it kind of showed to us why data is not working, etc., etc. And in the context of COVID-19 epidemiological data, we tried to use SparkQL to verify the epidemiological data, the number of cases, the case fatality rate, the coverage, the clinical test, etc., for each country, which is a huge data for the moment, that this is updated every day. And for that, we generated a lot of heuristics, as shown here. They are mainly statistical ones. And we found several inconsistencies within data. So it kind of was efficient to kind of clean up COVID-19 related data, etc., etc. So that's all. Thank you. Okay. So maybe I will show the queries if you want.
Thank you very much.
Don't know if.
Next we have Jarek, and Jarek is presenting about a Lua module. Jarek, please enable audio video and do a microphone check.
Okay, so I am microphone check, yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Good luck.
Okay. Now, how do I share my screen? Anybody? Oh, I see. There's a button here. Okay.
There's a button next to your microphone and camera button.
Yeah. Oh, I have a problem with pressing allow. I guess my browser does not like that. I guess I can just talk about it.
Chrome or Chromium?
Let's see. Now I am in Firefox.
Okay. If you would switch to Chrome, we will give you another chance.
Okay, so how about the next person goes and I will switch to Chrome?
Please send me a message and I'll fit you in somewhere. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So next we have Jean-Fred. Hold on, Jean-Fred. I need to make you a presenter before you can come on stage. That should be done now. I can see you, but I cannot hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Wonderful. Good luck.
Thank you. Application window. All right, so the problem I was trying to solve, okay, is that we often need to schedule meetings, especially in this time of crisis, etc. And a lot of Wikimedia may be relying on, I don't know, services like that shall not be named, such as this one, which has been anonymized for the purpose of this presentation. Or if you're more privacy friendly, you may be using this one, which is Framadat, which has been made by the Framasoft network for years now, and this open source software ethical. So that's very nice, but what's not cool is that it puts a lot of burden on their server. But it just so happens that their software is open source under CC license. And so I introduced to Lou woodele.toolforge.org, which is a deployment of Framadat in there. So next time you need to make a poll, schedule an event. Next, let's have the next remote hackathon. Works as you would expect. If you used Framadat before, it's the same really. And that works for me. I don't know about you. Putting things, and let's put expiry date a bit closer to now. Wonderful, and now we can share a link to everybody. I can put it in the chat. And let's decide when we can go hacking. And you can do that with full privacy and without giving your data to bad companies in the world. So here's the code that deploys it. It's not rocket science because it's basically taking it. But if you're interested in configuration management, I have to say I'm quite proud of I use Ansible for that, and I really made like ToolForge spit out what it can do there. So if you need a tool to manage your deployment on ToolForge, feel free to have a look, and I'm happy to answer any question about that. Here's documentation on Wikitech, and I even wrote a little blog post summarizing things. That's it for me.
Thank you, Jean-Fred. Next up, we have Mani Mawan. And you can now enable your microphone and or video and start your presentation after doing audio check.
Hello?
Yep.
Everyone. Yeah, thank you. You see the screen? One second. Your screen, you will see the screen? Hello? Hello?
People cannot talk back, but we do see your screen.
Yeah, I will continue. Okay. This is a spell for wiki Android application, which is used to record and upload audio to Wikipedia and Wikimedia Commons, Dictionary and Wikimedia Commons. Actually, this is spell for wiki means spell for Wiktionary and Dictionary or Wikimedia Commons. That's the meaning of spell for wiki. Is a mobile application to record and Wikimedia Commons and Wiktionary words. This is powered by Tanium Foundation and VGLUG and the Tamil Wikimedia community. Now I'm going to showcase. This is my application called Spell for Wiki. There are 4 features are available. First one is Spell for Wiktionary. This is list out the words from Tamil Wiktionary. These words are listed here. And there are more words. For example, one word to click and then record. Allah. Allah. Okay. Then upload this audio. Right. Okay. This is uploaded. You can upload any words from dictionary. Currently, this feature only available for Tamil only. Next feature is spell for word list. This is a list word from any file, text file. Then direct content. You can add any content directly. Okay. This is change the language to any language. What you? Same thing. Click and record and upload. Okay. Third feature is spell for word. You can record one single word. It's simple. And then record at the same. You also change the language to any language. This feature also. Then this is apps also act as a wiki dictionary. You can search word to Wikipedia, then load the list of words. Click to see the meaning from dictionary. What is the meaning of man? Anything. Then my contributions are listed. the recently I uploaded file. This is our settings. You can change any language to for options. Also select the license. Default we upload CC0. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Andre Engels. Andre, if you can enable your video and or audio and do a mic check.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Loud and clear. Good luck.
Thank you. I am presenting Data Extend, which is a tool based on the PyWiki code for adding material to data to items on Wikidata. Wait a minute, sorry. I should have done this on Chromium. Oh, wait, here it is. Yes. So the idea came to me when I was working with Mix and Match. I created pages like this, where you have a new person who has been added. Oh, sorry, this one. A new person has been added, and a number of identifiers, which come from Mix and Match, but quite just a little bit of data. Going through these identifiers, my bot added information to this page, and now it looks like this. A much larger number of statements, and all with the references we are needed, which show where it's been done. Here we see the tool at work. This runs it. It shows first what's already on the page, then loads one of the pages. It sometimes doesn't know what to do. For example, here it saw the last name is Broquet, but he hadn't met someone with the name Broquet before. So I had to tell him, okay, Broquet, that's this queue number. He had already known the name Louis, so it immediately edits that. Here we see an example of a site which has much more information. And here, and at the end, at the end, it also asks me, okay, I have ideas what could be the French and English description of this person. Which one do you want to use? I said, okay, I use Compositeur for French. I use Broquet Louis, 1888 to 1954 for English. And finally, you get some more description of what comes from the page in case there's something in here which hasn't been caught.
Can you wrap it up?
Ja, het lukt nog. Tenminste, ik dacht dat het lukt, maar dat valt even tegen. Oh, wacht, ik kan dit hier doen. Dan werkt het misschien wel. Ja. I have submitted the code to the PyWikibot GitHub earlier today, but it's 12,000 lines of new code, so I can imagine that it will take some time to preview it. You can already download it from this URL, GitHub andere Engels data extend. That's all.
Thank you, Andre. Next up is Jarek. Jarek told me that he is on a supported browser now, Chrome or Chromium. So if you enable audio and video, then you should now also be able to do screen sharing, I guess.
Screen sharing.
I can hear you, please.
And sharing. Okay, so there was a talk about limited number of tools that are available for viewing tabular data that is stored on Commons and showing it as a wiki table in articles. So I wrote a module which was let's see, where am I? So I wrote a module to implement that, and then wrote a little template to allow people access to the module. And now, if you have let's say this is a table at on Commons, and one can now view this table as a wiki table on any Wikipedia. You can see it here in one format, and with some different parameters. You can only say that you want to have only the first two columns, and change the formatting and whatever. And you can also notice that the tool automatically recognizes the dates, and the dates are translated to whatever is the local language. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jarek. Next is a presentation by, hey, Maarten, where'd you come from? Please don't. Next is a presentation by Hai. Hai is not here, but he created a YouTube presentation. So I am going to try and stream video and audio from my computer over YouTube, and I have no idea if that is going to work, but we'll see.
Turned off. We can't hear anything. So these are lots of goats. And searching for them is a pain. So I made a tool that you can search on goat instead of crazy numbers. And it's much easier.
I'll start paraphrasing. Here we see a drawing of a goat and children drawing and goats. This also allows you to use other properties instead of depict. I'm going to search for digital representations of the Mona Lisa. Here you see how many representations we have of the Mona Lisa. If you click on one of these, you will of course go to the comments page. Still a few bugs and have to do some fine-tuning. You will see it on my tools overview page, toolswmflabs.org/hi. It will be around here. That's his presentation. Thank you. So we have a little bit of technical research to be done in the near future to see how we can get audio from a tab into this stream. Apologies for that. I'm referring back to the guinea pigs and the demo gods. Next is Faros, and let's see if I can find him. Okay, can someone please suggest me the name?
Are you skipping me over, or did you change the order?
I skipped you, Martin. Yep, so it's you.
So I was wondering, let's see, entire screen. Okay, so I worked a bit on structured data and commons. We have a lot of items or files and commons that have instance of church building. That's because we had the PIX tool by the foundation. For example, this is a church building, and if you look at the history, a lot of people have been tagging it with all sorts of things like architecture and other things, and there was some cleanup happening, so someone added church building instead of the very broad things. So if you look at the file, it now says church building, but of course we would like to know what specific church it is, and most churches are actually have their own category. And if you look, the category has all sorts of nice information about what church it is. So I wrote a little bot that uses this information to go from church building to add the specific church. Actually, you can see this church only has a French title, so you only see the Q number here yet. And so I fired up the robot to work on that, and it's still going on, adding specific churches to images on commons. That's still running here somewhere in the background, going over them and seeing what extra information can be added. That's it.
Mille grazie, Martin. You have to disable your video and audio. Next is Faros, Richard. And you should be able to present now. Hello.
Great, hi.
Enjoy.
Thank you. I'm busy. Hi, everyone. I'm Richard Nipel, user Pharos, coming to you from Q60, I Heart Q60, that's New York City. I wanted to share the Wikispore project and what we've been able to progress on it recently with the hackathon. So for those who aren't familiar, Wikispore is an experimental sort of wiki farm on the cloud server. We helped launch it from Wikimedia. We got some help from the cloud team. The idea is to have all sorts of encyclopedic reference type projects that wouldn't quite fit in some of the existing projects and have a place to experiment and start new, smaller projects. So I'm sharing right now the page on Meta. We are hosted here on the cloud server. This is how it looks here. And you can see there are a bunch of different topics that people have been working on. So we call them spores. They're little botanical elements, little seeds from which things can grow. For example, the event spore, where we have items on different events that have happened. So, for example, World AIDS Day, and this documents in greater detail than can be done on the Wikipedia article the different events and research topics and activists and government actions related to World AIDS Day in December of last year. So one of the shortcomings of being hosted on the cloud server is that everyone has the same IP address, which makes it a little bit hard to create accounts and to administer and to manage spam. We had a bunch of spam accounts, and it was hard. And because we had a bunch of spam accounts, we had to put in rather onerous restrictions on creating new accounts. So I've been working primarily. The technical partner has been Gergo Tija, and Gergo. And that's the wrong one. And Gergo helped install OAuth on Wikispore during the hackathon, and we can now people can now log in with their regular Wikimedia account, and we disabled all creations of new accounts and all IP editing on the wiki because it doesn't make any sense. So it's great. So thank you very much, Gergo, and anyone can register and edit on Wikispore quite seamlessly from their regular Wikimedia account. So I just want to show how to just log in. I'm gonna click login, and here I am. I'm just waiting a second with her. And here I am. So a nice thing you can do is you can go to Wikispore. You can sign our guest book. So we're still a pretty new project. So we have some more people signing the guest book today since Gergo enabled it and TGR. And we invite you to do so. The best way to get to it is to just type in join.wikispore.org, and that'll take you to log in with your Wikimedia account and take you to the guest book so you can sign in. So things in the future for Wikispore, we have a bit of a technical roadmap. We have a strategic plan, which is called the Wiki Sprout. The idea is to grow the project, integrate more with Wikidata, and with the Wikimedia projects in general. An advantage of this project compared to, say, other wiki farms is that we can be linked and be integrated more closely with the Wikimedia environment and the universe, and hopefully we can grow from that and find small ways to supplement existing Wikimedia projects, where perhaps they can't cover enough detail or doesn't meet some of the existing notability or reference standards. Perhaps you can also have more oral knowledge, which can't necessarily be incorporated into the normal Wikimedia projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. And then we go to the
Okay. Whoops.
Our stream dropped out. Maybe Andrew, you hit a wrong button?
I might have. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but the whole stream dropped. So you might have. Did you click present?
I might have done that.
Yeah, then you
I think I clicked the wrong button. So sorry about that.
You should have only enabled your video.
Okay.
Well,
I think we're set though.
Yeah, we have the last presentation in the showcase now. Once Andrew is done, we'll get a few organizers on stage and we'll do a Q&A. So good luck.
Okay, sorry folks, I think I hit the wrong button. I had like admin privileges I didn't know what to do with. So thanks all. This is actually a good way to wrap up. Just wanted to talk a little bit about meet.wmcloud.org. So this is the first event where we're using it. So I thought I'd show you some of the thinking behind it, some of the stats from Hackathon, and encourage you folks to try it out. So there's experience with using a Jitsi server set up for the Wikimedia community. So it's not just me, it's a whole bunch of folks who've been working on this. So background, there was a need for facilitating remote participation within the movement for a long time now. People were using a combination of Google Meet, Zoom, all these other things, and we thought commercial options have a lot of issues with privacy, cost, and stability, and inconsistent performance depending on where you were. So COVID-19 certainly increased the demand for a solution that scales and was open source or free. So the options are quite limited. We had Big Blue Button and Jitsi as the two main candidates there. And if you want to follow along, we actually do have a whole Fabricator project with Wikimedia Meet. So that is project profile 4729. If you look that up, it's also known as just Wikimedia Meet as a project name within Fabricator. There's also two other things you should know about. One is a Telegram group just for conference remote options for Wikimedians, also known as CROW, C-R-O-W. I don't know why we have such an ugly link there, but you can find that or message someone in Telegram to find that, or you can get a link to this presentation from the Etherpad. So that is conference remote options for Wikimedians. We also have a project on Meta, Wiki Project Remote Event Participation. Thanks, Rachel. We'll put a link to CROW in there. And this is also a page where we put a lot of our testing and different platforms that we tried out, including this tool right now, Remote.co. So thanks a lot to Lad Group, Amir. I think it should be Lad's Group. Amir for taking lead on the implementation. We had a bunch of folks who helped test this, and we had a bunch of folks try to give feedback on this over a 2-month period. So we had two choices. We first tried Big Blue Button. Stability is an issue with that. It didn't have as much browser compatibility as we wanted. It does have breakout rooms, whiteboarding, things like that, but it's harder to implement because it wasn't really easy to do as a containerized install. So you really couldn't destroy it and re-implement it very quickly. You need a lot of hand scripting, which was not good. So Jitsi was much easier to install, and that's what we selected for meet.wmcloud.org. So the upsize, it's easy to use. It's browser-based. You can click on a link and join, and you can have pretty good performance of 20 people or so. I'll show you some stats in a second. Sandra's very happy that we're getting our own infrastructure. I agree. The downside's no recording capabilities right now. There is a plugin that allows for streaming to YouTube or some recording, but you know, it takes some setup. Mobile users need an app. Unfortunately, it doesn't run in a generic Chrome or Safari browser. You need to download an app. You know, it can be good or bad. Security login management is kind of weird, so you need to get a login and password. We decided not to hook it up to LDAP or your Wikimedia logins for certain reasons. I think they're good reasons, but that means you need a username password that doesn't have to be super secure. We can talk more about that another time. So just to show you some examples, the dog nature walk, we used it for that, which is pretty cool. We also, you can see that there's actually 4 walkers there streaming from a mobile. So the performance on mobile is pretty good. So this is mainly using WebRTC as a plugin for these browsers here. So it worked pretty well. We also had a multi-person conference, up to 12 to 14 people, which worked pretty well. And then, so if we looked at the busiest time we had during the weekend, this weekend, we had the data extend with Andre Engels, we had the women's tea, and then we had the tabular data session. So you can see, I'm going to show you 3 graphs. This is the load average. So it means that, you know, it's not too bad for these kinds of systems that are multi-processor, multi-core. If you've got a load average under 4, you're pretty good shape, right? It means that, what? People correct me if I'm wrong, 2, 3, 4 processes are kind of contending, but that's pretty doable. CPU load seems reasonable. We're really not taxing out the virtual machine there that badly. This is probably the most important thing. What kind of bandwidth are we using? So right now, if you look at the peak, so the women's tea had a lot of activity, which is great to see. So if you, this is megabytes per second, right? So we're talking like maybe 80 megabits at a high end, which is not too bad, right? If you're under 100 megabits, that's a pretty reasonable thing. So that's pretty good that you're supporting maybe 20 some people at less than 100 megabits. That probably means that we can go up to 40 or 50 without really panicking. But beyond that, we're really not sure. So we encourage you to try it. So future work, recording options, more load testing, test it out. To get a login on it, you need to find a keymaster. So go to the CROW Telegram group. We hand them out pretty easily. Go to the Fabricator ticket, subscribe to it, or a Fabricator project. Join our projects and try it out. We'd love to see more of it, but this is the first event where we're really putting a lot of load on it, and we handle 20 people pretty easily, even with mobile users as well. I think that is it. C-Band. And I think we are also going to bring the other organizers on here to talk about options, right?
Yeah, they all have presentation access. So I'm just going to be naming all of the people that try to organize this. Rachel, Martin, Andrew, Tony, Martin, Stuart, Aaron, and Leah. 6 in total can be here, not more, I think. If you would like to show yourself. I will do a quick present button, people, because that's when things really stop. So use cam on, mic on, and not any button. So what we have is we have a Q&A tab where you can ask a question and participants can upvote, and then we'll start discussing some of your questions. There are 37 people still present here, which is awesome. Our current subscription to this platform can handle up to 200 participants. You may have seen that our conference floor has 2 stories. Let's get those questions going then. Whereas Rachel, she chooses to remain anonymous. So there should really be a Q&A tab. Yeah, there we have our first question. Demo was pretty cool. Was it on the whole time? Actually, no, Jan, it was not. We had a trial subscription that lasted for 14 days in my name, and it actually ran out 2 hours ago. So I coughed up $150 for a month subscription to this tool so we could have this thing. I'm going to try and have someone pay for that. So don't worry about that. Next question. Not all at the same time. Yeah, there we go.
When is the next hackathon, Zebran?
Well, Martin, tell us. Next weekend? Might be too.
I don't know. It's. I would love to have an in-person hackathon again, but it probably takes a while. So we might have to do this online events more often if people like this.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a good event format? Something you want to do again?
I personally, I think yes, but I was not too much involved in the coding. I think but I like the platform as from an organizer perspective. Now, I would love to be able to experiment with like having this event 48 hours with just an opening for the day and a close. Hey, so somehow we can have more. I wonder how this scales.
Commented, kind of we can do more of these in remote style, and if this format works, then that makes total sense. Like, it's really nice to have physical events, obviously, but if we're kind of confident that a remote event can work like this, then yeah, definitely.
Maybe around Wikimedia. Someone suggested that on the chat already. Because
yeah, definitely.
Also as a more general event, not only a hackathon, but like broader.
Exactly. There will be a few other Wikimedia events that were supposed to happen on site that will happen online. I can talk, for example, about the Celtic Knot conference. That is a very nice conference about languages on the Wikimedia projects that will take place remotely at the beginning of July. And we also have a Wikidata weekend for German-speaking people, so it's a bit more specific. That's also going to be full remote. So we're definitely experimenting with a lot of formats here, and we're learning and growing a lot for sure.
Yeah, I'd second what Leah said about the Celtic Knot. So that, yeah, it's early July, and now we were going to do it in Ireland, but now we're doing it remotely. So anyone who's interested in languages and specifically minority languages and Wikimedia, please join. I'll add some details to the Etherpad.
So the next question, I think maybe Rachel or Leah and Stuart would be able to answer that. Should online hackathons rather be generic or broad like this one, or be more focused, themed? For example, a Wikidata hackathon or a GLAM one. What are your thoughts on that?
For my part, it's hard to say, really. I mean, I think having a fairly broad remit is quite good, especially if you're getting new people in, because it maybe allows more new kind of entries in. But then, yeah, I don't know. I think both kind of either works, as long as the kind of onboarding, as long as people feel they can participate. I think it doesn't matter.
Anyone else who has a thought?
I think we have to listen to feedback from especially newcomers for this hackathon. If we can collect it, it should be really interesting to find how they could navigate it. Should be fun. No.
That is a great point. I'll link the feedback page to the chat, but basically we can't learn any lessons without you. So just if you have any ideas about what made it good or bad or hard for you or easy for you to participate, or what you loved and what should definitely not be lost, you should add it there so that everyone in the remote conference organizers group and any future event organizer can learn. So I'll add a link now.
Yeah, and just to have a quote from someone who just participated in the blackout showcase. They said, "Thank you for allowing me to present our work. This is my first time in a Wikimedia hackathon." And right, so they have not ever been to a physical event, but potentially because it was too far away, didn't get funding, a million possible reasons. And this online format is a whole new way for us to work together and to also draw new people into our space, right? I'm really, really enthusiastic about that. Let's see, we have a few more questions. We're going to do 2 more questions, and then we're going back into the mingling part and close this plenary session. How does the experience for the event organizer compare with the regular hackathon? Rachel, maybe?
Sure, I can answer that. I think the interesting thing about this remote hackathon is that originally it was a small group of people who wanted to socialize together and hack on projects. And as the facilitator team grew, all of the parts of this remote hackathon that went really well are things that individual people decided they wanted to put effort into building. And you know, for example, like this showcase on Remo, or all the work that Andrew put into the first stream of what the hackathon was going to be like, or all of the fun social events that Leo was doing, or the music streaming that Tony was doing. So I mean, it's just we basically, with the remote volunteer organized style event, it kind of becomes what people are passionate about. And as the event went on, the individual participants started to do things like the group photo was done by one of the participants, and things like that. So I think it's just quite different. But there are a lot of different styles of organizing events, for sure. You can have a much more structured approach where everything's planned out, or in this case, we were trying things out. The first time we've ever used Remo for this kind of showcase presentation is right now. So, you know, it's all a big experiment. What do you think, Leah?
Yeah, I agree with you that maybe the main difference between this hackathon and the previous one was the fact that for this one, it was mostly like kind of last minute community organized, in the sense that a lot of events are generally a bit more like planned in advance. Although our hackathons are already usually pretty relaxed in terms of adding sessions last minute in the program and everything. But that's actually the part that I liked a lot, the fact that we allowed ourselves experimenting a bit more, because we all knew that the situation was kind of different anyway. And I would like to add to that I'm very grateful to the participants because everyone was super helpful and understanding that all of this was an experiment and eager to try new tool with us, sometimes completely like last minute and live. And yeah, it was really great.
I'm trying to find, in the meantime, the limits of this presentation mode. So I'm assigning random people to present. So if you can join, just join. People like Adam, Ashcrow, Brian Davis, Jan, Jean-Fred, Lewis.
See if we can break it.
Yeah,
what's the 9? Ooh, we're going beyond 9. We're going to 12.
Okay, so that's everyone. I'm adding Lucas.
We're at 36 people. Let's see if we can make it.
Oh,
Sandra.
We're all broadcasting.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, all the presenters. Yeah, that had video.
Whoa.
So let's see where this ends.
Very exciting.
Whoa.
And I think we almost we're working on a group picture now, right?
Another one.
2, 4, 5. We're 17 on screen. 18. Birgit, Butch, Cyril was on video. JMM something. Khalil, Lina. Min,
All right, 20.
Min again.
That's 20.
Keeps on scaling,
Oh,
right?
Someone
wow.
screen themselves.
Did
I
things
only
stop?
see.
Jean-Fred.
It
No, I
seems
only
it's
see
broke at
Jean-Fred.
21.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something broke.
I think
Okay.
it's also hitting on the processor, Sivan.
Terrible.
Yes,
I
because
only
this
see
works
local
with the
rendering going
individual streams. So
Yeah.
okay, so
Wow.
interesting.
Mine's really trippy.
This is great.
Yeah.
More of this.
I
Interesting.
think my laptop is dying.
Okay,
Yeah, my laptop is. Hey, Simon, let's go into the mingle.
I'm getting a ringing in my ears.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
This was
Wait,
great.
tell them
Let's
about the
go and
mingle. Tell them about the mingle. Everyone go to the.
Yes, we'll keep mingling. Oh yes, all the presenters. You had a presentation number. Please go and sit at the table. You were that was your presentation, so that people can come to your table and ask you some feedback on the work that you just did. See you at the next event. We'll try and make it better than this one. Cheers.
Each person go to your table number. Go to your table number.
Great, thanks.
Depending on what you were in
I'll
your.
have to check what my table number was.
Let's all wave to
Great
it.
job.
Bye.
Get the Etherpad. Go to your table number. Presentation.
Yeah.